Ever. It's time for games.
Yes.
All right, we have like quite a nice trio today. Who's starting?
I think I like to be sandwiched in between the C64 games.
Okay, so we have got two C64, I can't say it, two C64, Commodore 64 games and one Game Boy Color game. Yeah. I mean, I can go first if you prefer.
Oh,
All
yeah,
right.
let's do it.
Yes, I am bringing a game from Monteboyd, and it's called infestation for Commodore 64. Now, this was released at the end of November 2024, but by the time it came out, we had already recorded episodes, and as usual, we're always running after these things, but managed to bring it in today. This game is an action running platformer. It's available on itch.io for £3.99, so or 3 USD. I don't even remember. So
399 USD
yeah,
or more.
really, really inexpensive. And I bought it because it was just nothing. So I thought, oh my god, I think it's worth more, but I should have given more. But there are reasons. However, that's the game I'm bringing today from this Australian author, Monteboyd, also on our Discord server. So if you have any questions for him, you can reach out to him on our Discord server, which I once again encourage you to join. And as I said, it's an action running platformer, and you are a galactic sheriff, and you're investigating mysterious space stations who don't work very well. And let's say the story goes a bit more into depth. So you get a call on your spaceship, go and investigate this space station because there's some life forms that have gone all weird. We don't understand what's going on, and basically your robot helper says to you like, it's another mega corporation who's doing bioweapon experiments, and it's gone bad. So we got to go and see this thing, and yeah, that's basically the story. It does unfold later on, very slowly, across 36
With
levels.
cutscenes or something.
Yeah, I'll get there in a second. So it has 36 levels, and the story slowly gives way, and you learn more and more as you go through the levels. And it's got as you said, splash intros through the different areas of the game, which is quite well done. So as I was saying, the game is sort of an action platformer, run and gun, and you have to be strategic as well. So there are these enemies inside the space station, and you have to kill these enemies. It's basically sort of a Metroidvania in some ways, because you have to open the doors, but also then in reality, it's not really a Metroidvania. There's nothing to that you get and you keep upgrades or stuff like that. But the aim of the goal is a bit like Santatron. So you've got all these areas, and you kill the enemies in that area. So they keep spawning, but you don't know how many there are. When you kill them all, then the door opens and you can progress.
Okay, so it's like one sort of level where there's scrolling,
Yes.
and then you can find multiple enemies and go back and forth.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Obviously, there are places where then you kind of get stuck after the door. You don't really go back, but then you progress over the levels. But there's nothing left to do. Once you get everything, it's done. So it's I think it's personally quite easy to understand what's going on. But to be honest, initially when I played it, I didn't really understand why the enemies kept spawning, and I was like, okay. But they basically have a fixed number, and then once they're done, that's it. Then the doors open, and you move on to the next part of the level, of the area. And enemies are aliens, robots, and weird insectoid sort of creatures that are lurking around. And you find across these levels, you find different items that you can pick up, and there are different sort of gems. There are some yellow power crystals that help to charge special abilities. So basically, what happens is you find gems around the level which give you a special ability, and how long that special ability lasts depends on how many of the other gems you have collected. The more you collect, the more your meter fills up, and the more it lasts with a special ability that you then pick up later, or even while you've got it, basically. So I hope that's clear. But basically,
It sounds a bit like Turrican.
it is in fact very inspired by Turrican. So much so that one of the ability, I just yelled Turrican when I saw it, because you become the little star. You know, in Turrican, I think you press, I don't remember what it was. No, space was the two things at the like the bomb.
It's been like more than 30 years that I played that game.
Yeah. So
don't ask me.
no. But anyways, yeah, you become a little rotating sort of star, but it's not really a star. And it's exactly the same, and you can go up and down, and you're just invulnerable there. So it's just really Turrican inspired.
Cool.
It's very well presented. So there's different level designs. There's anti-gravity areas, toxic chemicals, one-way elevators, and like another nice touch that he's put in there is that when you shoot an enemy, the first time you shoot him, you get to see how much health he's got. So the focus switches on that enemy, and
That's cool.
and they've got health bars, so you know how many hits they take to be killed. So that's really cool as well. So what can I say? The thing is as well, I was going to say this later, but each enemy has their own like AI sort of way of the behavior. So for example,
Patterns.
yeah. Well, yes, some of them, for example, if you're below, let's say, a ledge, some of the enemies will stay up on the ledge above if they're there and go up and down. Some of them will sort of go up and down but follow you, in terms of they will try and reach you. So if you go a bit further to the left, they will see you and jump down. And there are other like robots that try to follow you as well. Some of them can follow you through the ledges. It's I think it's very good that, I don't know, how put all this sort of different AI things in there. I know it's not AI, but I call it AI. It's probably just a scripted thing that but each enemy acts in a different way, which is nice. I like it.
I had this game on my radar for a while, actually, because I think it looks cool. It looks a little bit Spectrum graphic to me, but I really like that, having a small sprite to control, so you have lots of map around you. And I was really intrigued by the power-ups. But first of all, I wanted to ask you, do you actually walk or do you fly in this game?
So in general, you walk, you run really, and you've got like a gun. Okay, so and you shoot. I'll answer your question first. So you walk or run and shoot the enemies, and then you can find some power-ups. One is a jetpack, for example, and then you fly. Another one, and another one is, I really don't know how to explain that one. You kind of become like melee, and you look a bit like Mega Man, and you have like huge punches. And it seems to me that you kill the enemies much faster like that. It's like you're sort of invulnerable. And there are other power-ups. I'm not going to spoil them all, but then the thing that also struck me about this game is as well, like the range of the weapon is designed in a way that doesn't encumber you. So the first thing I thought was like, oh, these dudes are really far away, okay, and they're behind a door, and in order to reach them and kill them, I need to get really close, and I have to jump up, and they're going to catch me. but I think Monty Boyd has kind of designed this shooting experience very differently. I really like it, actually. So basically, instead of shooting like a bullet, you don't see any bullets. You just see the I don't know, the fire come out from your weapon, and then this invisible bullet is like it strikes a whole line across the screen. Or
Yeah, like a hit scan.
yeah, and also up and down, it has like a radius, I think. So it's like it's imagine it just does a rectangle sort of on the screen and hits.
And hits instantly.
Yeah, hit.
Wherever it is.
Yeah, so not wherever it is. Obviously, if it's behind a wall, the wall will block it. But if it's
Okay.
say if it's slightly underneath you, it will still reach it.
Okay, that's good.
And
So it's
it feels really empowering.
pretty lenient.
Yeah. That's the thing. I really feel it like it really adds to the gameplay, because instead of becoming frustrating, it becomes doable, and then that's when I start having fun.
Yeah, and because the sprites are so small, you see a lot of the level. I think you can see far ahead.
Yeah.
And then you can also shoot from far.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like zoomed out everything. Does that work on CRT?
Yeah.
Have you played it on CRT?
Of course.
Because it's very tiny. Everything.
Of course, it works really well.
No, that's good, because I can imagine that you have to crawl into the TV to see this. But I have the same with Micro Mages and Data Man, for example, which also use tiny sprites. Which I really like this trend with modern.
Yeah, I like it too. You're right.
Games.
You're right. I don't really know how he does that, to be honest. Because I'm used to big sprites on say the Commodore 64 and big pixels, and this I really don't understand how. I was looking at it for a little while and trying to understand. I read that he's done it in high res, but I don't know. I don't know enough about Commodore 64 to understand the concept of high res. But even the title screen looks really good. I mean, God, I don't know. I don't know how they pull them off, this stuff. So I am quite impressed by this game, to be honest.
And a surprisingly lack of brown.
True story.
I was also
It's
very
like
interested
purple.
in this game, to be honest. If you didn't pick it up, I would
Yeah,
have
me too.
eventually. I think
Yeah.
I think that having small sprites makes it probably very playable. I like the feeling of that, but also at the same time, these sprites look good, in my opinion. Both your own character and the enemies, they are drawn with very nice style and skills, in my opinion, and animated as well, despite being small. But that it makes it look really, really nice, and it gives me the feeling that you have lots of room to plan your levels. And you mentioned that you don't see the bullets. I think it's a brilliant choice.
It
everything
makes it
more
much
clean,
better also.
so to speak.
But also, if you think about it in real life, if you don't see the bullet, it just arrives. Yeah, so it does make sense, and it works really, really well, like really well on this game. It makes it doable.
I see there's also boss battles or something.
Yes. There's so each area has a boss battle, and each area is also different from the previous one. So he's done like an incredible job of slowly as you progress through the levels change the design, but very slowly, and at the end you get like a more organic sort of, you start off like a metallic robotic and thing, and like environment, and then as you progress it becomes more like symbiotic and organic pulsating thing, a bit like Turrican, to be honest. Yes, and there are big boss battles at the end, which are again impressive for the Commodore 64, and to consider as well, like Monty Boyd has done some games and he's learning in the process as well, so he's doing really well for me for these games, like really, really good.
Nice.
Then we have the splash screens as well. So basically, when an area finishes, you get a little splash screen, and it progresses in the story, and as well. When you progress to an area where there's some new mechanic or something, your robot talks to you. in a form of a little dialogue at the bottom of the screen with a little portrait. And this is where I think it all comes together like nicely with a nice story and the platforming adventure. Sometimes it stops for a second and you're like, okay, and what's happening? And the robot tells you, oh, this is an area where there's some life forms. I can detect some life forms or something else, and it explains it to you. And I really love how now finally we are embracing the pixel art as a whole. Well, in the 1980s and 90s, we were all striving to do, everyone was trying to strive to do realistic graphics. Now they don't do that as much anymore. They do more like they accept, and the pixel graphics are not necessarily have to be realistic, but they can have a cartoonish effect, and they really enjoy that, being in that place where they can draw with few pixels and they can get some really nice portraits out of them, the few pixels that are there. And so it really all comes together and it's really beautiful, I think. The choices are really spot on in my opinion.
Honestly, if they just released this game on Switch or something, I think no one would complain about the graphics.
Yeah, you're right. That's another thing I'd like to talk about in one next talk show. Well, I haven't done one yet, but yeah. Anyways, you have health packs. You have smart bombs that kill everything when you pick them up. And then there's that famous thing where I said before, where there's called a spike wheel, which is the turrican wheel. And when you pick that up, and then you become a turrican wheel, and you can jump. So even in your base form, when you're walking or running, you can still jump. In fact, you can double jump by pressing up twice. And that allows you to reach higher levels on the platforms. And that's where I spotted the problem with my joystick, which I was trying to do a double jump really quickly in succession without going back to the neutral position, and it wouldn't work. So yeah, I think there's no time limit, and you can greatly benefit by taking your time then and looking at the enemy behavior to understand what they're doing, their scripts or their AI as they call them. And then you can become better and better. In fact, that's what made me continue. That's what makes me like it. There's no frustration as such. I think all the barriers for frustration have been lowered incredibly.
Well, and on the other side, the timer could be good to keep the pressure up, because sometimes some games don't have a timer, and you can indeed just snipe everything from far away, and there's no pressure or no, like, you can just easily beat the game just by standing from far and shoot away.
It's not like, no, it's not. You don't really do that. Either you get close-ish, or you don't. And then if you don't, there are enemies that come after you. So you're always engaged into wanting to go further rather than waiting and shooting. But you can do a little bit of that. You can wait and look at the behaviors. You can jump over enemies, and I've never felt that I can just sit still and just shoot. You probably can actually, but I've never felt compelled to do that. I just I don't know. But taking your time, it just makes it doable. Again, it's one of those things that contributes for me to the anti-geriatric feeling, which is good. Yeah,
okay. Well, and then the music and the sound effects are those.
That's the music and the sound effects really good. Like, oh my god! So if you ever play it, just play the first level, even just the first level when you enter, and you get this dun 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 dun, and it's really atmospheric, right? And the computer, the robot is talking to you, saying, there's life forms. I can't believe that I'm like literally so enthralled with the game. Like, then it just draws you in that atmospheric beeping, and it's not beeping, it's like a pulsation, and it slowly moves over to chiptune style music, and it's dark, mysterious, and then it gets a bit more I don't know, I won't say jolly, but it gets a higher beat, and it makes you enjoy the action more, if that makes sense.
Mm.
And then there's
More up tempos.
up the tempo, and also it changes. So he's done an incredible job of that as well, I think. And again, really impressed. I picked it up again just before the podcast. I did a quick look on YouTube as well. So in order to do that, I played it, but I had forgotten. So today I I played it again for not too long, but I think a quarter of an hour. And just entering the first level for me, I won't say I got the goosebumps. That's a lot, but it's really good how he's done all the tension building with the dark backgrounds, these enemies that you can't see all of them, you don't know what they do, and the robot explaining the tiny graphics just makes you feel a bit claustrophobic in some respect. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, overall very impressed also with the music. I don't think I've got any other technical things to talk about
Well,
really, but
I still have a question
yeah,
because I see there's 36
yeah.
levels, and do you have to play that all the way through, or is there like a save system or
Yeah,
a
you're
password
right. I
system?
haven't touched on that yet, have I? Yeah, you've got a password system of 4 letters.
Oh, that's easy to. And are they words or are they random?
They're letters, just letters.
Okay.
So far, I found only letters. But I am really keen on finishing this game because I really like it. So look out for a long play. Maybe I'll try and do a long play of this one because I'm really keen on this game. I really like it. I knew I would like it because I don't know. I went in it with, I won't say high expectations, but I looked at it and I thought that looks just amazing, and it also plays really well, and it's not unfair. So I mean, there are some enemies that are really pieces of garbage because they really wait for you, and then you have to like really lure them down. And when you lure them down, sometimes they how do you say, they land on you, and you're like, oh, and they take some energy away. So, but you get good.
So you can only shoot. Can you shoot only horizontally or
Yes,
also
only
vertically?
horizontally.
Okay, yeah. So if they come from above, then you have a problem.
Yes, that's where you have to get a little bit strategic because some of them do one thing, some of them do another. Then you have to lure one, but then the other one also there's another sort of enemy, and then they just come down, and then it's just oh. And then sometimes another one of those that follows you spawns again, and it just makes it. Initially, I thought I didn't think too much of it, but I think the balance is really good as well because I find myself, let's say, after the third or fourth time I tried, I didn't get any hits on me anymore. So it must
Cool.
be
Well,
well
I
balanced.
really want to play this game as well before the year ends. So we have to maybe a contender for
Yeah,
for the GOTY of 2025, maybe.
maybe yes, actually, because incredible work. I think he did find some issues in making the game by listening around. I've seen some things he said around. Monteboy said that he had a bit of trouble in not trouble, but a challenge to make the music play at the same time of the sounds. That probably is something that is difficult to do on the Commodore 64, or requires him to go the extra level. So well done to him. Incredible stuff. I think I am really looking forward to what's next, actually, and I think he's still making games.
Yeah, and if we want to see more games of him, we should support this and buy this game.
I bought it.
Yes.
Yeah, I bought it. I
Nice.
support Monteboy. I think he made another game that we talked about, but I don't.
I don't see. I see Knights
No?
and Slime 64, Monster Catcher, and Snow Wars. I've never seen these games before, so
Ah,
I
Me
like to
neither, but
check
I
these
think
out
they
as
all
well.
look nice. All the sprites look nice. Maybe that's his thing. One of his favorite things to.
but also the music. He did the music,
Oh, okay.
so he did everything. I think so. Really, props to this dude. Ah, that's it. He did Muddy Racer I don't know
Oh,
if you remember when we did the
yes.
Protovision interview.
Yeah, I played that. I brought that actually.
Yeah. So
That was also good.
yeah, I mean, and again, I think if I recall correctly, Mighty Racer as well had like smaller graphics.
Yes.
How does that even work on the Commodore 64? I'm really curious.
Yeah. Well, we should ask him on Discord.
Yeah. Totally go and play this game. I mean, if you like Turrican and you like space adventures with a little twist as well, that I won't spoil, please do go and get this. It's only $3.99. I mean, in pounds, that's probably £3, £2 something. It's nothing for the work he's put into this, I think. So definitely go and get it. Right, that's me done.
Yeah.